Hello and welcome to Quaysnews. I'm Ollie Youd.
And I'm Natasha Downing. Come outside for the 51st annual Earth Day. Come on to the show.
Harriet finds out the history of Earth Day, how it's changed during the pandemic.
I'm just going to show you how to plant a sunflower. It couldn't be easier.
We met a Salford woman who was planting a live memorial for people who lost their life to the pandemic.
And the filmmaker bringing his great story back to life over a century. Here at a sunny, in order to celebrate Earth Day, a day in order to celebrate and encourage people to make any positive that they can, no matter how.
Harriet Hayward found out about the history of the occasion, why it's more important than ever in the pandemic.
This year, more than ever, lockdown has made us appreciate our natural surroundings. But how prepared are we to save them?
The heavens reek, the waters below are foul, children die in infancy, and we and the world, which is our home, live on the brink of nuclear annihilation.
Created in 1970 during an American crisis, it kick-started environmental and protective acts all over the world and continues to do so even today. In 2011, almost 30 million trees were planted in Afghanistan, with over 100 species of endangered flower being planted in Panama. Now, this year, over 190 countries have officially decided to take part in National Earth Day, which means there's over 1 billion people signed up and ready to help make the world a greener place. Whilst COVID put our lives on pause, wildlife and nature thrived. The Venice canals cleared and filled with life, and so did some Welsh towns. Even the waters in Blackpool have seen a significant change in colour. The effects humans have on the environment can be monumental, and although the event will be digital for a second year, people are still being encouraged to help any way they can, from signing petitions to recycling or finding a more eco-friendly way of travelling.
The past year's how important the environment is. One woman is using herbs to create a memorial site that will show sunflowers who lost their lives during the pandemic.
And Miranda Clark is making a mission to help remember the lives of those that have been lost. And she's doing this in a very creative way. Emmy Norton has been out.
Planting seeds as a living memorial to those lost to a pandemic. The heartwarming idea came from one Salford woman.
I'm going to poke a hole in the soil with my finger.
Miranda Clark wanted her community to remember those it had lost.
With COVID-19 and watching the news or hearing updates, you keep on hearing this number of people who've died every day. And I just thought how terrible it is, what an awful situation. And I really wanted to keep that focus on the fact that people are individuals, and that massive number actually is all these people who are going to be a massive loss to their communities. And to help me remember that, really, I thought I would plant some of these amazing sunflowers. And I thought that's a nice way to have a memorial that is a beautiful thing that actually helps nature and also helps us to think about the fact that actually all these people have gone now, and that's a loss to us.
After posting her initial idea on Facebook, Miranda received some great responses, and it even caught the attention of some wildlife enthusiasts.
It has kind of two meanings. It is good for the wildlife side of things, but it's also nice for people to remember people who have died of COVID. And it's kind of nice for people to walk down the street and to see nature and then go, oh, actually, that's in remembrance of the people. So it's like a nice balance between the two. And I think it's amazing when people come up with ideas like that, because not many people do. And sometimes it takes an individual like Miranda to come up with that.
And it seems some people already have their seeds ready to go.
We've already got our sunflower seeds ready, Pat. So we'll be potting them up with the grandchildren, and I thought, well, that's really nice.
As well as being planted in many of Salford's green spaces, Miranda wants to encourage people to start growing a sunflower in their own homes.
But you can just have one pot and do one sunflower. So if you're living in a flat or you've got a little window box, you can get small varieties of sunflowers and can do it that way. So there's lots of potential for lots of people getting involved.
If you are wanting to join Miranda and grow your own sunflower, you can purchase seeds in most of your local stores, along with plant pots and compost. So stick on your gardening gear and let's get planting, because as spring fast approaches, there is no better time to start growing your sunflowers. And together we can help celebrate and remember the lives that are no longer here. Emmy Norton, Quaysnews, Salford.
We will be returning later in the show. Have an important subject.
A 17-year-old in Salford. Police were called at Pearl Road, Seedley last night. The warden still remains on the scene. Harvey Fletcher has been today.
I'm here at Peveril Road in Seedley, Salford, where police are investigating the suspected murder of a 17-year-old boy. Police were called to the scene at around 8:15 p.m. last night, where the victim had received a stab wound to the chest. He was taken to hospital where he died of his injuries. Now, police have cordoned off the entire street and have been speaking to potential witnesses, whilst forensics have been combing the scene looking for evidence. Police were also called to a second incident last night on Stowell Street, about 400 metres down the road from here, where another 17-year-old boy had received stab wounds to the arm. Now, he had already left the scene and gone to hospital for treatment, where he was arrested on suspicion of murder. Detective Chief Inspector Stuart Wilkinson of GMP's Major Incident Team said that this is a targeted attack, and we are working hard to identify and bring to custody those that we believe are responsible for this. After such a dreadful incident like this, our thoughts are concentrated with the family of the young man who has lost his life so cruelly on the streets tonight. That's all the information we have right now. Back to the studio.
The fallout from the European League has come today as the protest took place outside the Manchester United training ground aimed at club's owners.
The Glazer family were the ones that took Manchester United. They tried to take Manchester United into this deeply unpopular competition. Natalie Jefferson has been to Old Trafford and has the latest.
A group of around 20 Manchester United fans gained access to the club's Carrington training ground at about 9 o'clock this morning to stage a protest at the club's owners. The protesters had no access to the buildings at the training ground, but it is reported that they spoke to manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, assistant manager Michael Carrick, technical director Darren Fletcher and player Nemanja Matic. The fans were carrying banners demanding the group's owners, the Glazer family, leave the club, with references to 50+1 ownership, the ownership rule in German football, which gives fans the majority voting rights. Anger at the Glazer family has been prominent since their ownership began almost 16 years ago in May 2005, and the sag with the widely unpopular European Super League has pushed relations to the breaking point once again.
It was over 100 years ago now. Stories from the Great War can still invoke deep emotions inside us, especially so if they are from members of our family.
Salford students used authentic equipment to bring its great-grandfather's story to the big screen. Sam Ketch finds out more.
Recreating a Great Warfield hospital in Egypt in a Salford warehouse, Joe Macaulay is honouring his great-grandfather in film.
The initial idea of my true great-granddad who fought in World War I. He's the man I'm named after, so it's a personal story to me. I've been hearing the story my entire life, and it's just a story that stuck with me forever, and I just thought it was incredible. I mean, he went out so young to war, and not only did he manage to survive Gallipoli, which was one of the worst military failings of the First World War, but he also managed to learn not only just a new language, one of the most complex languages there is to learn, in the amount of time that he did. Is absolutely incredible.
And the film's producer, Michael Morris, has the difficult task of bringing Egypt to Salford.
A lot of the stuff that you actually see here today is like over 100 years old. It's actually from World War I, because a lot of this is from a museum itself. To actually get the actual crutches, I think you see behind me, they are actually World War I crutches. The bed that I'm sat on, it's a World War I bed that was used in the field hospitals. So it really helps to capture that authenticity, get that real feel for it. and even the actors on set, you know, you can actually like feel and smell the authenticity of it. It's incredibly accurate, and it'll just take like the performance and the set design and the production value to just a whole new level.
Given how ambitious the crew have been with this film, how did they first react to Joe's proposal?
My first reaction was, hell yeah, we've got to do this. Why play it safe when you can be so ambitious? Like, let's just go all out, let's get in touch with everyone that we can, let's just make some phone calls and see if this is possible. When we found out that it was potentially possible, we were just like, yeah, let's just go ahead with it, let's just roll with it, and let's just see what happens.
Everyone loved the story. I think the difficulty in getting everyone on board was more to do the logistics and how hard it would be to recreate Cairo, Egypt, in Salford, England.
While production is still in its early stages, interest is growing in how Joe will translate his great-grandfather's heroic past into film. Sam Ketch, Cairo, Salford.
Now we are here at beautiful Salford Quays, and we are not the only ones enjoying the glorious sunshine. But how often do we think about the mess and the rubbish we leave behind?
With the sunny days and the park, who's there to actually clean up the mess? Yes, he finds out more.
On the streets. I wanted to know who's helping clean up Salford and who's left to pick up the rubbish.
From a very young age, I started litter picking with my dad at the age of 12 years old. My dad has taught me that litter picking is a very simple thing to do, and it comes from the heart. People do it because they go to jail and they have to litter pick, but no, you should start doing it because it's actually quite enjoyable.
And do you feel like this has improved your mental health?
Litter picking has proven to me that it helps with your mental health, only because it relieves like endorphin, serotonin, good hormones to your body, like you're practically physically, you know, moving around. You were put in this world to do something. You need to start doing it now until because it's going to be too late to save the world. Like, you need to start helping around and thinking, I've still got time. My eyes are full of determination because I want to make a change. I think that change is like small, but it's moving. And I think that's what I believe in.
And why Pill Park? Why that location? How are the Friends of Pill Park helping solve the litter problem?
I'm the secretary of the Friends of Peel Park, so get involved with a lot of aspects of the park, and including that is keeping it looking fresh and tidy. The park for itself is absolutely abound with wildlife. There's hedgehogs, there's birds, there's shrews, there's field mice, there's all sorts of that. Litter causes a problem for them. You know, I mean, there could be all sorts of things. They can consume it, they can get stuck in it.
And if people wanted to get involved, how can they sign up for this?
Yeah, there's nothing to stop people just going down their own street and picking up some of the rubbish they see every day. No crime in doing that. I'm in a one-bedroom flat with my husband who's working from home still every day. So if I didn't get out each day and do something, I don't know what sort of situation I'd be in now, but it's certainly helped my mental health no end. It's changed my outlook on a lot of things.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you ever so much for joining.
Wish you all a very pleasant day. Until next week, that's from us.
Care and enjoy the fun.